Napoleon's legacy, Europe under the tricolour. In the winter of 1812, Napoleon Bonaparte achieved the unthinkable, conquering Russia with Moscow. Under his control, the machinery of the French Empire extended from the Atlantic coasts to the steppes of Siberia. This victory consolidated Napoleon as the undisputed master of Europe and marked the beginning of a new era in the history of the continent. Moscow, reduced to ashes by the Russians' own scorched earth strategy, was quickly rebuilt on the orders of Napoleon, who established his headquarters in the Kremlin. From there, the emperor reorganized the vast Russian lands, dividing them into provinces under the administration of his most loyal marshals. Napoleonic reforms, including the abolition of serfdom and the introduction of the civil code, transformed Russian society, accelerating its modernization under the French banner. With the fall of Russia, the balance of power in Europe changed irrevocably. The nations that had opposed Napoleon, weakened and divided, were unable to resist. French domination spread like an unstoppable tide, and by 1815 the map of Europe had been redrawn from Spain to the Urals. Much of the continent became provinces of the vast French Empire. However, maintaining such a vast empire proved to be a titanic task. Over the following decades, rebellions and nationalist movements began to erode France's power. Despite the efforts of Napoleon and his successors, the empire began to fragment. Internal strife, wars of independence, and increasing pressure from foreign powers eventually led to the loss of many of the former French possessions. But although Napoleon's great empire crumbled, his influence endured in unexpected ways in the mid-19th century, when the kingdoms and nations that had achieved their independence began to rebuild. Much of Western Europe remained under the cultural and political influence of France. The French language had become the lingua franca of diplomacy, culture, and science. The institutions and legal system of many European nations remained inspired by the Napoleonic model. In 1870, after a series of conflicts and negotiations, a new confederation was formed, the Franco-European Confederation. This body, led by France, included vast areas of what we know today, such as Germany, Italy, Belgium, the Netherlands, and French-speaking Switzerland. Although these regions had regained some autonomy, the French influence on their politics, culture, and economy was undeniable. In the 21st century, this influence has further solidified most of Western Europe, in effect a cultural extension of France. The cities of Berlin, Milan, and Brussels are as French as Paris. French is the predominant language in these regions, and French culture, with its emphasis on high fashion, gastronomy, and the arts, dominates daily life. Even in regions that are not formally part of the Franco-European Confederation, the French presence is palpable. The old borders have been blurred, and European identity has been inseparably merged with French. The Eiffel Tower stands not only as a symbol of Paris, but as an emblem of France's enduring power in Europe. Today, in a world where the Franco-European Confederation is a world power, Napoleon's legacy lives on. Although his empire dissolved centuries ago, the emperor's dream of a united Europe under French aegis has endured the tricolor wave over much of the continent, and Napoleon's vision of a Europe dominated by France, although not in the exact form he imagined, is a reality that defines the present and future of the continent.